participation in worship. We are continuation of earthly to heavenly worship, inseparable, but the church is adorned with the iconography of the saints of God and with the archangels there also in the church. And these icons, I said before, they are windows to heaven to give us that kind of connection. And it is through our participation with them we enter to the glimpse of paradise.
Welcome back to the Faith of Our Fathers podcast. I'm Theodore, and with me, as always, the very Reverend Orthodox priest, Father Constantinos, are over there.
I love that introduction.
I just want to make sure everybody knows you're an Orthodox priest. You know what I mean? So tonight,
Orthodox Christian, because you have Orthodox Jews.
right, yeah, well, yeah. I don't think Orthodox Jews wear
But it's
that
okay.
thing.
People understand that,
What is this called
they
right here?
understand because the color.
Okay.
And beside, behind you, you have the icons.
Yeah.
So people would know.
Right. So, yeah, I don't think any Orthodox Jews would be having these up here.
Oh, no. They will be burned.
Right,
They will be burned.
right. Yeah. So, tonight, what we're going to do, it's a new thing. We're going to have a pretty much Q&A with Father tonight, based on some questions that we've gotten in comments and from basically our favorite fan, Cameron. Right? Say hi to Cameron, Father Constantine.
Hello, Cameron. How are you
There
doing?
he is. But before we get into it, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, push the little bell icon so you don't miss anything from us. But so here we go. Are you ready, Father?
Yes, we will try to, if we can.
Yeah, you're gonna do great. Here's the first question from Cameron. Expand on the angelic participation of our worship and involvement of the cloud of witnesses.
Well, angels.
Yeah.
Angel is a messenger.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have minor messengers and you have major messengers, soldiers, messengers.
Right.
So you have messengers and you have called angels and you have archangels. These are with a higher degree. Okay.
Right.
They are the defender, they are ones who praise, they are one who listen to God, and the expression of the angels or archangels are continuing in the liturgical celebration in heaven as well as we are on earth. The divine liturgy that we celebrate, or the services that we celebrate, is a continuation of that heavenly liturgy where the angels or archangels continuing to celebrate. In fact, there are 9 levels of hierarchs.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Let's hear.
There's the angels. There are the archangels, the principalities, the powers, the virtues, the dominions, the thrones, the cherubim, and the seraphim. These are kind of the levels of hierarchy.
So where does that come from?
That's come from the book of Eunuch from the Old Testament.
Okay.
References to these archangels and angels and the levels. In fact, at St. Basil Liturgy, we recite these things. We ask for intercessions. Let me see if I find where is. I just was looking somewhere here. Let me see. We were the priest. They in the prayer of Saint Basil after the anaphora. Okay, the Father, the living Word, the true God, the wisdom before all ages, the life of sanctification, might, the true light, through whom the Holy Spirit was manifested, the Spirit of truth, the gift of adoption, the pledge of an inheritance to come, the first fruit of eternal good things, the life giving power, the fountain of holiness, by whom enabled every rational, intelligent creature thus serve thee and send up thee perpetual praise, for all things are thy servants, ye angels and archangels, thrones, dominions, principalities, authorities, powers, and the many-eyed cherubim praise thee. Round about thee stand the six-winged seraphim, and with the twain they cover their faces, with the twain their feet, and with the twain they fly continually, crying out to one another with the unceasing praises. So the angels and archangels are unceasing praying for all of
Where'd you
us.
pray? Where'd
Now,
you get that out of? What was that book out of?
from Saint, from our divine liturgy,
Okay, yeah,
from Saint Basil Divine Liturgy every Wednesday. I mean every Sunday we celebrate. We read the prayer, and also during Wednesday pre-sanctified
yeah, yeah.
liturgy.
We heard it last night.
Now there are yes, and there are now seven rank of angels. You have. You have the rank of angels. You have, let me see, try to remember their names. Um, you have Raphael, you have Riel, Uriel, Raguel, Zaraphiel, Remiel, you have Michael, you have Gabriel. Now,
Those are all
the
archangels, right?
angels, Gabriel is derived from a Hebrew word called Jabar, which means strength. So he is a messenger who give you strength and comfort and relate. So he was the messenger. So we have Gabriel in the New Testament as well as in the Old
I think
Testament.
we're going to celebrate
Michael,
him pretty soon on the 25th, right? With the Annunciation.
yes,
Yeah.
Annunciation. And you have Michael, who's the protector. And Michael kicked out from heaven Lucifer.
Yeah.
Lucifer tried to, you know, to place himself as God. He was not humble enough, but he wanted to dictate. And so he was kicked out. So Lucifer is out of the picture, you know.
Right.
But we have the angels, we have the archangels, and these angels are supposedly to watch over us because they take care of our humanity. And in the we can read about these angels and archangels in the Old Testament, in the book of Daniel and and Enoch, the one who went
Yeah. Yeah.
to heaven and ascended,
Right.
was taken by the chariot, him and Elijah. How were they carried out? We have to believe, that the angels, archangels came and took them
Right.
to heaven. Um, so in the book of Hebrew, chapter 11, 114, are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who inherit the salvations. Angels are spirit beyond being involved in many different tasks, and part of the elect angels work to serve and administer to the believers, okay, during our life on this earth. So we say even we have angels, or should I say the guardian angels.
About us.
I don't know who's my guardian angel. I really don't know, but I believe there
He's
are
with you.
guardian angels. You know, so now we have in the church. Cameron, I think, was asking the question about participation in worship. We are continuation
Yeah.
of earthly to heavenly worship, inseparable, but the church is adorned with the iconography of the saints of God and with the archangels there also in the church. And these icons are, I said before, they are windows to heaven to give us that kind of connection. And it is through our participation with them we enter to the glimpse of paradise.
Yeah.
So angels are angels, the cherubim and the seraphim, and everyone else in heaven are celebrating. So it is a continuous liturgical life we believe in heaven, but now we celebrate also on this
Right.
earth.
I think
So
you
when
I
he's,
think you knocked out like 3 questions with just that one answer.
well, I mean, I could see there's another one here. What is this? The what is the significance of incense in the liturgy?
Yeah.
Well, the incense. You go back into the book of Exodus in chapter 30, verse 1 to 16, and God gave instruction how to prepare incense. And when Moses was on the mountain, on Mount Sinai, God instructed Moses to go and build an altar and to offer incense. And we sing every Vespers, let my prayer arise before thee as incense. Incense is a connection. Incense is a bridge between the earthly and the heavenly. Incense is a symbolic of your prayer ascending to God.
Yeah. Set down by
In fact,
Moses. Right?
huh?
Set down by Moses. It was or by
Yes,
God through Moses.
God is the instruction.
Yeah.
And so we are not offering lamb and meat and kill animals sacrifice. The sacrifice is our prayers. That's a sacrifice. And our prayer is ascending. The priest, he has a censer,
Yeah.
okay? And the censer is held by four chains. Four chains. And each chain has three bells on each
Yeah.
chain. Okay, which is mean 3 times 4 is 12, which symbolic of the 12 apostles. And the bottom of the censer, the body, normally place a charcoal. Charcoal symbolic of our bodies. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you could hold the charcoal, it will not burn you. As long as you are away from God, as long as you are from God, the devil is holding you. But when you burn the charcoal, you cannot touch it.
Right.
That's symbolic of the fervent prayer of your mind, body, and soul. When it is lit, that is you are on fire for the Lord. And the incense is poured and sensed. And look what the priest, he senses the altar, just like the Old Testament, the Holy of Holies, the nave, the outer narthex, and also the priest sends the icons, the triumphant saints, and then he sends you
Yeah.
because you are created after the image of God to become like him. So the priests honor your image, give you respect and dignity as a human being, and also remind you to pray, just if you forgot.
Right.
And so, as he sends you, is an expression of giving thanks. You know, out of respect, you make the sign of the cross, invoke the cross on you, and you bow your head as a symbol of acceptance. If the priest is honoring you, you're honoring God. Okay, so incense is offered at the church at various times. One may argue, say, well, it was offered in order to, in the Old Testament, to change the smell when somebody died from the stink. Okay,
Yeah.
in the old, that's what it was used
Right.
for in the catechol. Incense changes. So in the Old Testament, there's a reference how to make incense. It's when my dad came in 1954 to America, Zachariah Nasser, his cousins were nuns in the Russian church in Jerusalem. And also his cousin Abid was an teacher and iconographer. And he became very close to Father Anthony Grabbe, whose father was a priest in Brooklyn, New York. So before my dad came to America, he didn't have money to come. He had to borrow money, my dad, to come to America. And my grandpa had to sell a piece of land so he can buy him a ticket. So a journey by itself with great challenges. So he asked Father Grabbe if he will be willing to give him something on his trip because he has to make his living on the boat.
Right.
So he gave him a block of incense and he told him, use it. This is my gift to you to use it on your ministry. And when you finish, you can give the rest of it to my dad in Brooklyn, in New York, at the Russian compound, the Russian church. So my dad used this incense at on the boat, on the ship, in the morning and the evening, and they will pass a collection, you know, through the years. And when he got to New York, he wanted to give part of that block, and it was, by the way, it was made on Mount
Okay.
Athos,
Huh?
and it was it's a journey for almost like 300 years old. So he took it, and then the father said, "No, you keep it." So he kept it. And my dad used it throughout his ministry, but he left because after so many years, if you don't, the aroma of the incense will go away.
Right.
So now you end up having half of the block is there. My father never used it, just left it in the house. So when my dad died, my mom said, "What we going to do with this incense?" And I know a little story about it, but not too much. So they began to tell me. I said, "Give me some." So she gave me two pieces of rock of that incense, symbolic of that. That came from Mount Athos to Jerusalem to America, and with my
Yeah.
dad. been in this country. So I tried to use it at St. Elijah one time. It almost choked me because there's no aroma
Right.
to it.
You just smoke.
Yes, and when I was a little boy in the old country, nuns would come to our village every maybe 3 months, bring incense to the church. We did go from place to place. So I was asking. That's before my father came to America, and I asked my dad, "Where did they make it?" And he said, "Well, this is from the sap of the trees. It's collected."
Right.
And how? Well, it is in Yemen and in Iran, in other places. And you know what they do? They, with the sword, with the knife, they slide the tree branches and begin to
The sap. Yeah,
cry,
the sap.
weep,
Yeah.
the sap. They collect that, they dry it, and they, with the various description of the Old Testament, they make the incense. So I said, we have almond tree, we have apricot tree. So I decided, because I saw on these trees the sap,
Right.
some just like
Yeah.
that. Okay, go to the trees around your neighborhood, cedars or whatever, you will see little particles. So I thought I would establish a business by myself,
Did it
and
work?
I got a small container of kiwi. My,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like you know that left over from my grandfather's cleaning, fixing, clean, shining his
Yeah.
shoes. So I went and took the knife and started slicing some of the branches. Well, I got little. I put them at the top of the house for 4 days to dry, and I got, stones start cracking them, and I said, well, let me see if my father will use them in the church. So I took them to my dad. Dad, I have incense, fresh incense. Where'd you get them? I said, well, I made them. He said, where do you have? I said, well, I try. You said from the trees, and there's so many uh, sap coming from the almond and the apricot, and I thought maybe I could be a businessman. I wasn't. I maybe, you know.
Yeah.
He laughed at me. He says, I don't know. You have to. They are not going to work. I said, just try. So he put a couple of them. He mixed them with the other
Right.
incense to please.
Did it work? Did it smell
But
like bananas?
it's horrible smell. It's horrible. Oh. So I was try, to be uh, a young boy trying to find his way in life, trying to establish a business by having
Right.
incense and sell them to the churches and the monasteries. But as I say, let my prayer rise before thee as incense. My mom will have her handle censer,
Yeah.
and every Saturday she would sense the house, the icons, and each picture of her loved ones, and make the sign of the cross this way, and goes there. And even before she died, she did that. The night before she fell asleep, before going to the hospital, she insists, according to my nephew, to have that hand sensor, being placed and blessed everyone. And she kissed the icons, and she went outside the house. She looked on the sky with my nephew, taking her to the hospital across the street. She just fell asleep, just like that. So, when we smell the prayers, we're supposed to smell the beauty of our prayers, the words that
Yeah.
being expressed.
Yeah.
And so the prayers is a bridge. Incense is a bridge between heaven and earth.
I think that's a good place to stop, Father. We're a little bit over. We're good. We're going to have to take another episode to finish out the rest of these. But hey, That was good.
You
That
know,
was really good.
when the Lord was born, what they bring him?
Myrrh,
Gold, myrrh, and
frankincense. Yeah.
frankincense. Came from Iran, from Persia, with the
And
Magi's,
and
and
and what they
presented that
bring when they
beautiful
were
gift.
when he rose from the dead, it was the myrrh bearing women, right?
Absolutely. And now they brought that. When we go to the church, what do we bring?
I want to smell some myrrh.
Our our prayers
Yeah.
as a living sacrifice. Let my prayer rise.
Let my prayer.
Let
Yeah.
my
There it
prayer
is.
rise. See,
Yeah.
before thee as incense. So it's again remind us to be on that bridge. Are we in the church even? Are we on that bridge when the priest sings that? I hope so.
I hope so too, Father.
So we need things to remind us. And God told Moses, do this for me. Do this, build an altar, and this is a recipe for incense, which you will find in the book of Exodus, chapter 31 to 16.
Yeah.
May God bless you, my dear prayer, and my dear friend Todd, for your effort, and may God bless us to offer our prayers before the Lord, kneeling, asking forgiveness and blessing of body and soul, and healing of body and soul. God bless you, and for the next time, as they say, goodbye.
Good job, Father. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us spread the word about the show. So, for Father Constantine, I'm Theodore, and we'll see you on the next episode of Faith of Our Fathers podcast.